Good evening. This is CTV News for Wednesday, October 26th. I'm Denise Douglas. Thank you so much for joining us. More than 200 Temple Hills families are scrambling for housing after the county issues a deadline. All of the families must be out by Friday afternoon. County officials say a lack of utilities leaves them with no other options. Byron Scott has been following this story and brings us the latest.
We are in the hallway, the corridor of one of the condominium complexes here at Lynn Hill Condominiums. And this is what it looks like with the camera light on. But turn the camera light off and you are in pitch black because the power here has been cut off. And residents here have until Friday 3 p.m. to evacuate the buildings. With flashlight in hand, residents clunk their way down a darkened stairwell of Lynn Hill Condominiums in Temple Hills. Electricity and gas were shut off yesterday. Hallways are pitch black, elevators are not working, and the county is giving residents until 3 p.m. Friday to get out.
I mean, it's crazy, like, that's sad. And then people don't even care about other people. That's how stuff is, I guess.
It is under a cloud of uncertainty that more than 200 families are scrambling to find shelter. U-Haul trucks and loaded pickups are evidence that some have found a place to stay.
I came here to see what's going on.
Pradeep Ramaji of the Salvation Army heard about their plight and came down to offer help.
I can give the meals and some accommodation. I will try to make arrangement, but I do not know exactly what they need.
We have multiple properties in the area.
Christina Adams is with a rental company that is also helping displaced residents find housing. Can you say how many thus far you've been able to help families?
I know at least 10 so far.
As we told you last night, electricity and gas were shut off because the complex is in arrears. According to Condo Association officials, the complex owes Washington Gas about $200,000, WSSC $200,000, and Pepco $500,000. The association was responsible for paying the bills.
Words, I can't explain the words that's going through my mind. It's crazy.
I have a dog and I have a cat.
Dawn has lived here since 2010, and as of the moment, she has no place to stay. Perhaps that's why she pointed out to us an irony she says adds insult to injury.
They're cutting grass. They're cutting grass. What are they cutting the grass for? They prepaid them, but couldn't prepay the electric bills? That doesn't make sense.
In Temple Hills, Byron Scott, CTV News.
Again, Byron tells us the residents must be out by Friday at 3 p.m. However, they can still get their belongings after that time by appointment only. A babysitter is arrested for the death of an infant in Glenarden. Patricia Vallone is on the scene with that story.
A family is in mourning after losing their baby daughter on Tuesday. Now the parents' grief has been compounded after learning that their nanny has been charged with the child's death. The suspect, 66-year-old Oluremi Oyindasola, is accused of causing the child's death. The incident happened at the family's home in the 7800 block of Fisk Avenue in Glenarden. An autopsy ruled 8-month-old Anita Salubi's death a homicide by asphyxiation.
What we believe happened is that the child became fussy and would not take a bottle, and out of frustration for some reason, the nanny took the tops off of a bottle and basically forced approximately 7 ounces of formula down the baby's throat, and then got another bottle, took the top off, and continued doing this until the baby went limp.
Neighbor Kurt Wanzer says the tragedy couldn't have happened to a nicer family.
Oh, the neighbors are beautiful people, Joseph and Nakia. And the children were beautiful. To find out the baby had passed in the first place was heartbreaking, because we know him. And you see that baby almost every day. Now to find this out, that she was killed, that's just devastating. It's pain on top of pain.
Now, Oyindasola is charged with second-degree murder and first-degree child abuse. She remains in custody at the Department of Corrections. From Glenarden, I'm Patricia Vallone, CTV News.
Anyone with additional information on this case is asked to call Crime Solvers. The number is 1-866-411-TIPS. Another round of Safe Track is about to get underway. Surge 10 will run from October 29th to November 22nd. It is the longest shutdown that also affects two major stations, Gallaudet and Fort Totten. Again, Metro's general manager, DC's mayor, and other officials gathered to urge commuters to find alternate forms of transportation. They also talked about the repairs that will be done and emphasized the importance of the overall project.
In terms of the work here, yes, we will be doing a lot of that work. We've got the contractor lined up when this is closed to get in and do much more extensive work. It will not all be done during the surge period because the extent of his work goes beyond that 25 days, just so you know. But we are stepping up that whole effort.
We regard this as more significant than the closure we had in the District of Columbia before. We know the importance of the red line to our entire system. You've already heard about the connections that so many people make. I think you see here, and I'm grateful to see so many people from Montgomery County, my friends from Montgomery County who are here. A lot of the people who will be going through this route are starting off in the county, and so the additional services that are being offered there and getting people off of the red line but not in single occupant vehicles is what's going to help us.
Once this surge is done, there will be 5 phases left in Metro's repair project. On the election front, ready or not, early voting begins tomorrow across the state. Residents can cast their ballots at 9 centers in Prince George's. If you're planning to vote via absentee ballot, officials say the forms must be mailed in by Friday. Linda Lamone gives some advice to voters before heading out to the polls.
Every voter in the state should have gotten a specimen ballot, which happens to be mine, here in Anne Arundel County. And what we urge the voters to do is look at this before they go to the polling place so that they can see who's on the ballot, not just for president, but the other races, and also look at any questions that are on the ballot and try to make up their mind how they want to vote before they go to the polling place so that it makes the voting very quickly. I'm not sure we're going to break record numbers. We generally have a presidential general election around 80% turnout, and I think it's going to be at least that.
Early voting centers will be open from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. You can bet I'll be doing that to avoid those lines on Election Day. You're watching CTV News. I'm Denise Douglas.